Hello and welcome everyone to Football Barbie. I am going to be talking to you about week 15 and the predictions and injuries. So let me get started. And sorry, I'm doing a live. It's just a crazy week with everything. So let's just do everything that we can and see what happens. So let's talk to you about Thursday night's game. So you have the Rams are at the Raiders for Thursday. It's playing against Aiden O'Connell. Stick will be playing for the injured Justin Herbert, where O'Connell is coming off a game where his team was shut out. So I can't believe that the Raiders were completely shut out in the game against the Vikings. The fact that the Vikings got their, like I said, we'll talk more about the Vikings later. Let's talk about some of the injuries. So Raiders, Curtis Bolton, he's injured. You got linebacker Adam Butler. You have defensive tackle. You got Max Crosby. He's injured. You also do have defensive end who is probably not playing, Brandon Faction. Josh Jacobs has a hurt shin. You have running back Andre James. Their center is most likely not playing. Magawa. So you definitely have a lot of players for the Raiders that are not playing. As for the Chargers, Keenan Allen, which is one of their star players, he's injured. You also do have, let's see, Keenan Allen, looks like wide receiver, and then you got Gerald Everett, he's injured. Then you got Justin Hollins, you have Zion Johnson, Dan Leonard, you have on the games. I'm not like a huge gambler though. I will have somebody hopefully on at one point this season or during playoffs about that, about all sports betting. But I'm taking the Raiders. So hopefully the Raiders are not shut out. I mean, the Chargers had a very disappointing week the other week when they lost or they beat the Patriots, but it was like 6-0. And, as much as you want to think that game is super bad, I wish the algorithm would boost me more, truly. But so be it. Likes and comments are really kind of what helps, but who knows? So I'm taking Raiders. So let's see the Raiders pull off at home, which I thought they would do that against the Vikings, but not so much. Then you have the Vikings at Cincinnati. That is a Saturday game at 10 a.m. in the NFL. I don't understand. That just doesn't make any sense to me. So Minnesota had that absolutely. Well, let's say first, the Bengals are coming off 2 straight wins with Jake Browning to get back into of the fourth quarter against the Raiders to win the game. How embarrassing. Okay. Then you got Nick Mullins is starting for the Vikings this week. You know that the Vikings offense is completely slacking. Even if Justin Jefferson, who is like injured during this game, he says he's playing. I don't even think Justin Jefferson, honestly, is going to be able to save the Vikings at this point. I'm a little kind of confused. I mean, obviously, you got Kirk Cousins. I already said they weren't going to be as good as they were last year, and truly, it's proving me correct. So we will see the Bengals. I think Browning's going to lead the Bengals to a third straight victory. So I am picking Cincinnati. As for the Bengals, you still do have, like, obviously, Jake Browning is playing for Joe Burrow. You got DJ Turner to second. He's injured. You got Mitchell Wilcox. He's injured. Jamar Chase injured. Tyler Boyd injured. So they do have injured people. But the Vikings, obviously, we know, like I said, Justin Jefferson may play. Kirk Cousins obviously is out, so not even going to count that one. Brian O'Neill, he's injured. Dalton Reisner injured, and Ingram is injured. Let's just see. I'm really curious to see what happens. So for sure, I'm taking Cincinnati. Next up, you have Pittsburgh at the Colts. It's Saturday now, Pacific time. Like I said, Saturday at 1:30 p.m. So we have 3 games. Yeah, 3 games on Saturday. I just don't understand why we're doing Saturdays already. It's week 15. Why? Yeah, I don't know. I think Herbert was way better now that he's injured. He was injured previously. I think that the Raiders hopefully do pick out Thursday night's game where the Raiders lost to the Patriots. I for sure thought I had a shoe in. The Patriots, I'm sorry if you're a Patriots fan this year. You've dominated many years before, but this is not your year. 2-10, you go into the game, and the Steelers lose to you. This is a big playoff spot game for these two teams. The Steelers and I lost last Thursday. The score was, I think, like 21-18. That was absolutely brutal. This is their Steelers' second loss in a row. The Colts lost last week, but so many of their major players are injured, so it kind of makes sense as coming back, Jalen, all those people. As for the Steelers, you got people in as well, like TJ Watt injured. Which all knows probably Steelers is sucking these days because TJ Watt's a beast. I think giant coaching mismatch, such too. What are we talking about? What do we think? I mean, at least between their offense and their defense, I do think that the Colts will have the better chance to win here at home. So next up, you have Denver at Detroit. So the Lions have already, I figured before the season, I think they were going to have like 9 wins, and I already said they were going to be the winners of the NFC North. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Super appreciate that. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers at one point, so then I would actually be able to have people really chime in more to the lives when I do them. But yeah, so I feel like the Lions were already going to be the winner. My team is doing as well lately. They already have more wins, like I said, than I gave them for the whole season. And I do think that they have better, obviously, the best chance to win the NFC North. They did lose last week to Chicago. Who still has another bad year, but this year they're 5-8, so obviously not as bad as last year with only having 3 wins. Then you do have, the Lions do seem to do better at home. So the fact that they're playing at home, I'm going to have to give it to the Lions. I do want to commend anybody who is a Denver Broncos fan, because with Denver, the beginning of the season was rough. I knew, as I said in my videos before the season started, that it was going to take towards the end of the season for Denver, if anybody had a chance, to Sean Payton in order to actually get Russell Wilson going to the game. So, yeah. So let's see. For the injuries, Denver, Nick Benitez and Smash Perine, along with the Lions, Taylor Decker, Hendon Hooker, Benito Jones, and Frank Ragnow are hurt as well. Then we have the Atlanta at the Carolina Panthers. Oh, that past game too was 5:15. Why? I just don't understand why. It's so strange to me. Okay, so Atlanta at Carolina, Sunday, 10 a.m. So the Panthers this year, I'm sure they wish could turn back time and take CJ Stroud over Bryce Young. I'm sure that was a heavy decision that was weighing on their mind, and I'm sure they're literally kicking themselves. And in fact, they chose Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. They are awful on offense, the Panthers, and they do have a difficult time scoring. Unfortunately, we do have a Panthers fan in this house, and not the best season for you guys. The Falcons did come off a last-minute loss to the Bucs last week, where the Buccaneers were able to win it. However, I do think that Atlanta is going to take this one over the Panthers. If you like the Patriots, like I said last week, the Steelers are going to win and the Patriots win. It's football any given Sunday. Anything can happen, which is why it's my favorite sport. But at the end of the day, not really sure. Atlanta's taking the cake. They have some injured players. Elias Campbell, he did not practice. Rest day, lineman David. Oh yeah, I feel like the Denver Broncos have for sure came back. I mean, they've won 5 games in the second half so far of this season. They have for sure came back. I just don't think that they're going to be able to win. You never know. Comment back if they do end up winning. Would love to know. For the Panthers, you suffer injuries. You got Brian Burns, tight end Hayden Hurst, defensive back Deshaun Jameson, linebacker DJ Johnson, Justin McCray, Jamie Robinson, tight end Ian Thomas. It's like everybody through the season is just. And this is seems to be the year of the Achilles or blown out knees here. ACLs. Tommy Tremble and Deshaun Williams for the Panthers and Falcons. Next up, you have Chicago at Cleveland. Is a Sunday 10 a.m. game as well. The Bears the past 2 weeks have been able to come more alive with Justin Fields and their offense pricing this year, because you just didn't really think the Browns would be such a good team. Been in quite some time. But having Joe Flacco as their quarterback, I think that they do have a really this one. I think that they did well last week having Flacco, and I think they're going to do better this week having Flacco. For the Browns, you got injuries: defensive tackle Jordan Elliott, running back Kareem Hunt, center Ethan Poick, and practice along with defense. And you have Tampa Bay at the Green Packers, Giants, Eagles. Then maybe not so much. Last year, the year before, so let's just kind of like what the Tampa Bay is going to be able to pull off. Wilson, wide receiver Chris Scott, defensive back, and Dean able to win with a whole bunch of injuries. So Walker, Christian Watson, Tavian Wicks, running back, and then TJ Slayton. So let's see Tampa. I think Tampa has this. Next up, you have the New York Jets at Miami, and I am going, this is Sunday at 10 a.m. game. The Dolphins are coming up probably, I would say, their worst loss of the entire season, to lose to the Titans in the game, so that would be fantastic. But the Jets wide receiver, Jason Brownlee, defensive lineman, John Franklin Myers, quarterback, obviously Rodgers, defensive lineman, Solomon Thomas, running back, Nick Baldwin, offensive lineman, Max Mitchell, Joe Tippmann. I mean, they just got a bunch. Zach Wilson was listed on injury report knee issues, but he was a full participant. They just got a bunch. Zach Wilson was listed in injury report knee issues, but he was a full participant. Back Devon Achane, offensive tackle. Ron Armstead, offensive lineman, Leon straight with Tommy DeVito. Think about the fact of how much money Daniel Jones and some of these other players have managed to get for the quarterback, like money-wise. That like all these players, like Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, all got all this money this year, and now they're hurt and not playing, and their backup quarterbacks, I feel like, are doing better than them. So yeah, who knows? You also do have this game is going to bring a challenge. The Giants and their offense will have a difficult time on the road, and I think they're going to suffer a loss to the Saints and their slightly better defense. As for the Giants, some of their injuries are the Ojari, defensive tackle Ashawn Robinson, limited piece today in practice. As for the Saints, you have defensive end Isaiah Foskey, Kendre Miller, Chris Olave, Andres Pete, did not practice. Wide Taysom Hill, Cameron Jordan, and wide receiver Shaheed, and running back Jamal Williams were limited for practice. So I think the Saints are going to pull off this one. Then you got the Texans at the Titans Sunday, 10 a.m. as well. The Texans without C.J. Stroud could be thin if he doesn't clear the concussion protocol. That would mean that Davis Miller will start for them. The Titans won big last week against Miami. I was actually really impressed with the fact that they did that. They had Will Levis, who led them to that win towards the end of the game. And can you imagine how Will's feeling along with the Titans for the fact that they managed to pick him up in the second round of the draft? Like, Levy did not get picked up at all in the first. He was one of the few major quarterbacks everybody thought was going to possibly go, and then just didn't. And now he's doing pretty well for the Colts backup. I think the Titans will take this win here at home. You do have the Texans, except TD Stroud is among the 7, but Cashman, receiver Nico Collins, tackle George Fant, Toby Thomas, tackle Laramie Tunzel, Houston list receiver Noah Brown, defensive tackle Malik Collins, guard Mason, Henry Toto, and receiver Robert Woods as limited participants for practice. As for the Titans, it just looks through. Unless the defensive, I'm probably see Titans pull another one here, which is absolutely crazy to me. So whatever the case may be, or feel like that's going to happen. I mean, obviously, the Patriots did beat the Steelers last week, but Trevor Colton was left. So, Patriots Ramondre Stevenson, from the Patriots Packers, and he continues to deal with an lineman Christian Barmore. Number 1 seed spot back, but I don't know. There's just no way the Arizona Cardinals, unfortunately, I think are going to be able to stop the 49ers. The 49ers held out 8 players beginning the week of practice. Javon Hargrave, Ward, linebacker Dre Greenlaw, Oren Burks, Armstead, tight end Ross Dwelly, right guard Spencer Buford, and left tackle Trent Williams, running back Elijah Mitchell were all limited in practice for the 49ers. As for the Cardinals, cornerback Antonio Hamilton, cornerback Bobby Price, defensive lineman Kevin Strong, cornerback Sterling Thomas the fifth. I truly don't know why get your major players hurt. Then you have the Commanders at the Rams Sunday 105. The Commanders are coming off a bye, but they don't have a chance at this point to even be in the hunt or divisional title. Aren't in the same league with Seattle, and Seattle has lost 4 straight now. So the Rams truly did beat you guys. What was it? You guys won the Super Bowl in 2013, or 2012, 2013 season. So I guess the Ravens are probably due back, right, for that Super Bowl, or at least playoff. They are due for it, and especially since Lamar Jackson is doing fantastic. Yeah, the Rams played well and they hung in there. So I do think that they have a chance. And I just think they have a lot more lines. I think that the Robinson Jr. Their team held out offensive tackle Rob Havenstein and receiver Tutu Atwell, tight end today. So let's see what happens. Okay. Because I am picking the Rams. Then you have Dallas at the Buffalo Bills, Sunday at 1:25 p.m. So I am saying my prayers that as an Eagles fan, I can only hope below. So at home, the Cowboys play Wilkes, Stephon Gilmore, Marcus Lawrence, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Jordan Lewis. My question is for one of the best players. Dallas, their defense is just offer in December, and as an Eagles fan, I am waiting for that because I would at least still like to be able to hold the divisional title win here in this game. I'm sorry, F Dallas. I want the divisional title win. Okay, it's a very stressful game this past week. Watching Dallas beat Eagles by 20 points. I'm really happy I was not at that game. Then you have Buffalo. Their defensive end AJ Espinilla. Micah Hyde did not practice Wednesday, while cornerback Taron Johnson and tight end Dalton King killed injury, but he was a full participant, and I do expect him most likely to play. That would be my opinion. Then you have the Ravens at the Jags. The Jags have lost 2 straight. And have big injury issues to go poor defensive play the past 2 weeks. The Ravens are holding on to that top spot, but their defense has struggled some lately. They for sure aren't perfect. Trevor Lawrence may be playing, but I'll take the team that is overall better, but the team was just merely resting him. As for the Jags, they are without cornerback Tyson Campbell and safety on shoulder, corner Christian Braswell, hamstring offensive lineman Ezra Cleveland, Travis Etienne Jr., Trey Herndon, running back Ernest Johnson, Zay Jones, Walker Little, and tight end Brandon were limited. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence did practice fully with his ankle issue. So I'm taking the Ravens here as that win. Then you have the Eagles at Seattle. They haven't really completely disclosed their injuries yet since it is only Wednesday. This is the game that was, flexed to Monday night at 5:15. It is in Seattle, so I know it is going to be a bit of a harder game, but we haven't looked too great the past 2 weeks, going to lose against Dallas last week.